Hey Saber fans, it's Aaron of A&W Saber Services here. And I have another Saber reveal for you today. It is a Korbanth ls6 in V2 config with the optional weathering. I do like the weathering on this. It is quite nice. I mean, it's granted I've never seen a professionally done one in person, so of course I'm gonna like it. But I'm willing to bet that the professional, like Trooper Trent stencils probably look a lot better, and even with the bent emitter and the freaking marring on the bottom and the non-vented pommel and the mystery chunk, and the more things I say, the more I realize how inaccurate this is, but it's still a good saber. I like it. Now, this is a prizm install. I used a Sly Tools chassis for this. And you might already know that the Sly Tools chassis with the crystal chamber only allows for a nano biscotti. Well, with some modifications, you can make it good for a prizm. It's a total pain in the ass. Yeah, quite a bit. And the only real SD card access you can have is if you use a super low profile kill key like the one that stock sells. That's what I'm using on this, just for SD card access because there's no room. Now, for this, whenever you first buy the chassis, it says to, pull the chassis out to recharge it and have SD card access. I don't like that because that leaves, there's already a limited room up in here for extra slack. So I wanted to make it as tight as possible with as minimal slack as possible. That way there's less room for error. But to access the recharge port and SD card access, I want to unscrew that, slide that bad boy off. You can see that power is currently enabled. I'm going to flip around that kill key just a little bit so I can show you. Now, I used a real quartz in this. I did not use the one that Sly Tools sells because I don't like it. It looks terrible. It's super tiny, and you have to use a 5mm bezel. And I tried that on a K4. Yeah, it's terrible. Just get you a freaking quartz and carve that sucker down. It'll look 100 times better. And I mean, it's a big crystal. It covers up the whole area. It looks great. Obviously I drilled a hole in this to allow for recharge port access. And if you want SD card access, you of course want to turn the kill key and just slide this out just enough to where you can see that SD card. You can get at it with a pair of needle nose pliers or precision pliers, just like in the Goth 3 Designs chassis where you have to carve a big square out just to access the SD card. But it is what it is, it's still a nice saber.
Your skills are complete.
Let's go and turn it back on. So you'll notice that I wired up the crystal chamber LED to an accent pad. That way it's blinking in idle. I like that. It's cool. Whenever you turn it on, it's fully lit. This saber is for Joshua Wang. And he contacted me a little while ago, saying he had a V2 with a Sly Tools chassis. I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? I'll do the install for you, no problem. Sent it to me, and the Sly Tools chassis, it provides quite a bit of challenges, I'm not going to lie, especially for a prizm install. But you may have noticed that I did modify the chassis a little bit to where the SD card can actually slide out without having to remove it. So, little things like that you have to do. You have to improvise, get creative to make it more user-friendly, I find. But I'll shut my trap. No, I'm not. Who am I kidding? It's freaking lightsabers. I can talk for hours on this stuff. Main activation on the bottom. That's just personal preference. It is running a green-white LED. And obviously a prizm. I already said that. Geez, there's not much else to say. 18650 battery. That's one thing I do like about this chassis, is the option to have an 18650 instead of 18500, like on I believe it's the V2 chassis that needs the 18500. I'm pretty sure it's the V2. And I believe the Hero version, I can't remember if that gets 18500 or 18650 in the Goth chassis, but this has the 10 amp high drain battery, 3120 milliamp hour, and, sorry, I'm tired, 3200 milliamp hour. I'm thinking NeoPixel over here. I'm losing it, guys. But green, white. And 2 color profiles, figure green and white. Might as well. And Josh wanted me to load up some fonts for him beforehand. I had like 5 or 6 of them that he could have bought, like 5 or 6 on Saber font. 3 of them were his choice. So I was like, okay, I'll do the 3 Lukes. I think it's V2, ROTJ Gold, and one other I can't think of to save my life. Oh, Luke Skywalker ROTJ? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Now I remember. I couldn't remember earlier. And the 3 defaults. So that was V2.
Now fulfill your destiny.
Don't make me do stuff, Emperor. There's ROTJ Gold. And here's Luke Skywalker ROTJ.
Like my father before me.
Catch your breath, Mark. It's okay. Just take a breather. I love that snappy ignition. I did up the sensitivity on the motion swings, but I can't really get a good swing on my couch because that's just how it is. It's got good responsiveness whenever I'm standing up swinging it. I already tested it. I love the force effect on this one. And the 3 defaults after that. Light meat, dark meat, and gray meat. I love gray meat. Such a great font. Especially for being a freebie.
Your skills are complete.
Well, thank you, Vader. That's nice of you to say that. Oh, did I forget anything? And of course you have the lovely reveal if you loosen this up like I did not. You got your little crystal reveal. Now on the Luke fonts, I did it where the crystal is always shining. On the defaults, it's more of a blinking pattern like the default LED sequence. It'll just blink, right? Yeah, or vice versa. One of the two. Whatever. Anyways, that is my Saber reveal for this. I'm a little tired. Obviously, I'm sure you guys can tell. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, Saber fans, and until next time, may the Force be with you always.